With how those guys played as a unit, our 5 up front, all juniors, all coming back next year. Well, Evan was in there playing tonight, but most of them come back, and it's just a good unit all in all. They did a good job. When the defense, it becomes very hard to run the football when the defense knows you're going to run. It was hard to throw the ball. Kenny came off the ball, was very heavy, getting saturated with water, and it was tough to throw it down the field. And so I thought we did a good job running the football, and our defense did a great job stopping them.
It seemed like at the beginning of the game, there were a lot of special teams mistakes by both teams, and yet in the second half, it seemed like San Jose State's special teams really stepped up.
Yeah, no, we cleaned it up. The one punt was high. Michael barely got it, and at least we were able to you get the play, the down over, so we could punt it rather than have a block punt or give them the ball and down. So all in all, I think we were solid in the PAT field goal kicking unit. That was decisive. There was 1 or 2 snaps that were high, and Josh Love did a great job of reaching up, snagging it, and getting the ball placed. And then Bryce came, swept through it and kicked beautiful through the uprights.
It seems like in a game like this at the end of the year, sometimes a team could kind of mail it in, but it seemed like you guys kept fighting to the end.
Yeah, I think if you look at us the last month or last 6 weeks, our team competed. We battled, and it was, I mean, I'll go with Boise or even Air Force. We battled, we competed, and you know, you can't control everything. Sometimes, someone mentioned to me how many 9-win teams we played this year, including Tulsa and Boise, and we played a lot of good teams, but our guys, all you can ask is you kept competing, and sometimes the breaks went against us, and sometimes you get it back, and unfortunately we didn't get as many breaks our way, and some of those tight finishes that can go either way, but today we certainly did, and this is a very important game and a very important win for our program.
And everything that's gone on, have you been given any type of assurance about returning next year?
You know, let's just focus on the seniors. This is their win. I'm so proud of them and the team, and just a great win for our program, and send our seniors off with a win.
Okay. Since Ben just got here, your summary of the defensive effort, particularly in the second half.
Yeah, really proud. You know, at halftime we talked about, we made some adjustments, and we just felt that in the first half we made some mistakes that gave them some big plays that they capitalized, and they were able to get up 14 points on us, whether we gave them good field position or not. And just so proud of our defense coming out in the second half. We've only given up 46 yards to be able to force them to punt so many times. And then the offense on the other side to grind it out, old school football, power run game, quarterback run game as well. That was working, and really just encouraged with how the guys played. Very proud of them.
Thanks,
okay,
Coach.
thank you.
Thoughts on today?
Awesome to end the season with a win, end my career with a win, and the season for the seniors with a win, and get the Valley Trophy. Just keep it with us.
Today was unlike the last 3 weeks where you could throw the ball around with success. Weather started turning bad. How'd you guys adjust?
Turned it into a run game. It's the weather kind of affected it a little bit, and in the first half I made a couple mistakes that I shouldn't have made. It was rain or not, I shouldn't have made those mistakes. But my guys trusted in me that I would turn around the second half, and we ran the ball. We ran the ball well, and turned the second half into a grind for the old linemen, and they took it with them.
Can you describe what happened on the first touchdown? First touchdown again, the play to Tim Crawley.
We just ran a little quick screen out to the left. We actually ran like a little rush back after the ball. We knew what the play was. We called 2 plays. We ran the handoff, and then automatically everybody knew what to do on the second play. Threw a quick screen out. Justin Holmes made a good block, and Tim willed his way in the end zone.
Again, with the weather being what it was, and it seemed like Fresno State said, okay, San Jose State's going to run. So does it become a test of wills at that point?
Yeah, for sure. It's up front in the trenches. Who's gonna man up and take us down the field, or if the defense is gonna man up and stop us. But our O-line did a great job, and the O-line manned up, and we got the ball down.
You took a pretty big belt there in the third quarter. You were rolling around. You I guess exuded a certain amount of will to to stay in the game, where maybe the average guy might have just said, "Hey, I can't go anymore"?
It was when knocked out. I mean, it's no big deal. I'd get back up for my teammates in my last game. I'm not gonna go out easy.
Great, thanks, Kenny.
Thank you.
Frank, tell us about today's game.
Oh, it was amazing. Just the build-up throughout the week, knowing that this would be my final game, and to have it be against Fresno State, fighting for the Valley Trophy, man, that was just awesome. And I wouldn't ask, or I couldn't see it ending any way better than this.
You guys, in the second half, really, you shut them out on the scoreboard. Was this San Jose State's best second half of defense this season, or was it San Jose State's best defensive game of the season?
I think it's a little mixture of both for us. Coming into the locker room, we knew we weren't doing what we were supposed to do in the first half, and Coach English had a great game plan together. And I think what you saw in the second half is us executing the game plan.
So you mentioned the game plan in general. What specifics can you share about the game plan today?
It's kind of tough. Coach really just threw out everything we had throughout the whole season into the game plan. You know, a little man coverage, zone, some pressures, and we were able to run those the right way in the second half, and it definitely showed.
It seemed like Fresno was going to try to win the game in the second half, running the ball. Do you feel like you guys have, for the most part, taken away the pass game and said, okay, if you're going to win, you're going to have to run?
I definitely think Mother Nature played a little part in this. It was raining cats and dogs out here throughout the whole second half. So, I mean, it was even tough for us to even throw the ball. We ran the ball the whole second half too. So I don't know if Mother Nature played a factor in this, but you know, we did a good job stopping the run in the second half.
So what can you take from today's victory, and what were you able to share with the guys who'll be back next year?
One thing that we try to express to the younger guys is the rivalry between San Jose State and Fresno State. We know it's not as big as Ohio State, Michigan, or some other schools out there, but we wanted to show them that this is a true rivalry and to take it seriously throughout the week. And you know, my career here, it's been great. I loved everybody I met here. I've had a great career, and I've been blessed throughout the years. And this is definitely a building block for the young guys coming into next season to win your last game in the regular season. Even though where we were, you know, it was really easy just to put your head down, just quit. But we have a lot of fight in us. We never quit, and I hope this builds momentum for the young guys starting next year.
Last question: what did it mean to you to put your hands on the trophy and do that on the field?
Oh, it meant the world to me. The emotions that were going through my body were just unexplainable. For it to be my last college game and to finish winning the Valley Trophy, that words couldn't explain how I felt out there.
Frank Ginda, lots of tackles from Frank. First, talk about the defensive effort, particularly in the second half. What did you guys do? What did you guys do well?
I thought in the second half we were gap sound in the front seven, and in the beginning of the game, I mean, we were here and there, we were hit and miss, but I thought in the second half we cleaned it up, and after we cleaned it up, they couldn't get on us. They couldn't get nothing else.
So I mean, was the case just the principles that?
Yeah, it was just the key principles, and we executed. And when you execute, stuff like that happens.
Particularly as the second half was unfolding, and you guys were starting to stop with a degree of regularity, did you guys gain a level of confidence within yourselves, within your unit?
Yeah, as a defense, we were really confident that we could stop their run. And one thing our coach preached all week is the team with the most rushing yards is going to win. And so we had to eliminate that, and once we did, we came out with the victory.
Could you just talk about, I mean, you guys had a pretty good first half on defense as well, but in the second half, it just seemed like you guys were lights out. What adjustments, if anything, did you make?
There was no adjustments. We ran the same exact defense. We just cleared up a few areas where we were getting cut out gaps and stuff like that.
And there's a game like this where, like, you know, it's the end of the season, some teams could tend to just, like, kind of mail it in. It seemed like you guys were fighting to the end. Just talk about the desire you guys had to win the final game.
First of all, any rival game is a big game. And, our season didn't go as planned, but we stuck together as a team. And we call each other brothers for a reason, and we sent our seniors out right.
Okay. Your reaction?
Oh man, it means the world to us. I mean, no matter what the record is, it's always a rivalry and the rival games, end of the year. That's what you circle on the calendar back in January, February when the calendars come out. And it just means the world to us. Go out with, some of us is our last football game ever. And it's just one hell of a time just to go out here and have some fun and beat our rivals.
Coach Carragher pointed you out as one of the key guys in terms of the run game. Kind of how did you guys adapt to the conditions and adapt to the responsibility that you guys carried in the second half?
Yeah, well, obviously, right before the second half, it started raining really hard, and it's tough to throw the ball, so obviously we were going to run the ball a little bit more, some 21 personnel, two-back sets, and for me, I mean, that's like a dream come true. It's raining, just going out there and have some fun, and run power and counter. It's just a lot of fun out there. Just run the rock, that's just what we did.
Yeah, part of the season, it hasn't gone the way you guys wanted to, obviously with the wins, and there's been talks about your coach, his future, but any part of that today, motivation to finish the season with a win for him personally?
Each game, you kind of look at it individually. You don't really look ahead or you don't look behind. So we just came out here today with the attitude that this is our rival and we wanted to go beat him. That's all we were thinking about.
When, in a game, well, what appeared to be, let's say a battle of wills, where it seemed like they knew San Jose State was going to run. You guys knew you were going to run.
Yeah.
How do you take that approach, and how does the team that does better, how do they gain that upper hand that yes, our will is going to be better than the opponent's will?
Yeah, we talk about every day at practice, effort and attitude. You go out there and we can tell you exactly where we're going to run the ball, and you still have to stop us. So that's pretty much just the attitude we had. We just wanted to go out there. We were in, like I said, run power, run counter. It doesn't matter. We were just going to run the rock, and it ended up working out for us.
3 field goals in a game, and I mean every field goal counted to a win. Your reaction?
Honestly, it was just we practice this every day after practice, and with the wet, slippery ball, it's really tough for the long snappers and holders. And I trust all of them, and I really had the easy job just to kick it through. And the ball was there. I trusted both of them, and everyone to block for me. So it was just really just another day and another kick.
Talk about the weather conditions. That, like you said, I know you had the easy job of kicking it, but any of that kind of messed with you, with the field being what it was?
The weather wasn't really. It was just cold, but we experienced a little bit of that early on in the season. So we had Boise, which was really cold, and we perform to 100% no matter the conditions or what the situation is.
You're from Texas. You guys don't kick much in the rain. How many times do you recall kicking in the rain in your career?
In high school, I've only had one experience of it, and it was a playoff game, and it was cold, and it was just about like these conditions. It was super cold and raining, and it was just coming down, and we only kicked PATs that game, but it was good mentally for me because I have done it before instead of a new experience.
Was any one of the 3 field goals more challenging than the others?
I think that they were all pretty much the same. They weren't super long field goals, so they weren't really challenging. But I feel like with the snaps and holds being how they were, and they were great, and it was just easy, and they made the job a lot easier than what it should be.
Excellent. Excellent.
Thank you.
Fellow teammate Bull went down, and I was getting in the rhythm early, and when he went down, they leaned on me a little more, and I just embraced the opportunity and tried to make the most of it.
And it seemed like you were running one type of play. Fresno knew you were running one type of play. We've talked to other guys on the offense at some battle of wills. Have you ever played in a game of battle of wills? And how do you deal with the situation like that?
It was battle of wills, but I think that there's a lot on the line when you come into a rivalry game. Those guys up front did a really good job of opening up some creases, and Malik Robertson Bull did a good job of kind of just staying with me when he was down, and it was a team thing.
How would you comment about the line in front of you and Shane Smith and Josh Oliver and Billy Freeman in terms of moving, creating opportunities for you and Kenny to run the ball in the second half?
You know, just all the way from the left side, man, with Evan, with Jeremiah, with Keone, with Chris, and with Nate. Those guys up front, man, without them, I mean, a running back's job is tough. You know, when those guys are pushing guys up front, and then you got guys on the perimeter like Jay Holmes blocking, you got Sheed out there blocking for you, you got Tim Crawley doing the things that he does, and you know, Trey, and then you the addition of tight ends with Billy and Josh, and you know, it really makes my job easier. And then can't forget about the guy opening up holes in the backfield with me, Shane Smith. I mean, it's not a lot I can say, or not a lot I can do without them. So they get all the praise and glory.
It seemed like once Malik went down, they kind of went to you, I think, 5 or 6 times in a row. Did that help you out, just kind of get it going for you, getting that ball many times in a row?
Yeah, as a running back, man, the more you can get the ball and get a good feel for the game, you become a better back. And you start to pick up tendencies from your offensive line and how they're coming off blocks, how they're moving to the second level. So, you know, as a running back, you love things like that. And you know, it's unfortunate that Bull went down the way he did, but I mean, I was excited.
Have you ever had 26 carries in a game?
Not since high school, but you know, I was ready to embrace this opportunity.
It seemed like throughout the year, you, Malik, and Zamore at times have had to carry the load. Just how does it feel for you personally to end the season on the final game, being able to, you know, I think you had like 126 yards, just the performance you had in the final game of the league?
It's a credit to the offensive line. All the hard work that we put in week and week out. The season hasn't went how we planned it to go, and you know, it's a credit to those guys. Those guys work hard, and you know, as much as the stats look good for me, I mean, it looks better for them. I mean, those guys, when you get a running back that goes 100, it's kind of a pat on the back for the offensive lineman. So, hats off to them.
What happened on the blocked punt? And did you guys have a special call this week, or did you know that you guys were going to look for it?
Basically, throughout the week, we've been watching film on their whole punt team, and we have realized that they shoot their snapper out a lot. They don't block with their snapper. So my coach told me all week I was going to have an opportunity to go either way on the left side A-gap or the right side A-gap. So I just played around a little bit, chose the left side A-gap, and it was open for me.
I think it was like the first block punt for San Jose State in 4 years. Just it looked like you got there so pretty easily. Can you just describe how it happened?
Yeah, basically, soon as the long snapper snapped the ball, I just took off. Like, I knew I was going to have a way to go to the left side gap or the right side gap, and I just knew if I would just play around a little bit, they wouldn't know which way I was coming from. So I just chose the left side and ended up blocking the punt.
And I know it came kind of early on in the game, but do you feel like that was kind of a big momentum shift for you guys?
Yes, I think it was a real big momentum shift because as soon as we blocked that punt, we had great field position. Our offense knocked it down in there and scored the ball. So I think that was a great play.